So hello guys and welcome back to another live stream in our channel as we look to talk about Chelsea's 3-1 victory over Wolverhampton Wanderers, and it's been quite an interesting game, probably looking more of another game of two halves. The first half, Chelsea quite dominant, Chelsea looking to create all manner of issues, and when you look at that situation, you're thinking that Chelsea are probably going to come and probably thrash Wolverhampton. But however, the second half, there was a bit of lack of energy. I don't know whether it is the weather that actually created it, but let me start with the positives. The first positive is that Chelsea have won 4 games in a row, and Liam Rossignol, as he makes his first games at Chelsea, so he has won 4 in a row. Games that Chelsea are expected to win, but at the end of the day, you have to beat what is in front of you. You beat Arsenal 3 points, you beat Wolves 3 points, you beat West Ham 3 points, you beat Manchester City 3 points. So Chelsea have managed to win 4 in a row, and that equates to around 12 points that have been gained since Liam Rossignol has come. Chelsea currently seated 5th with 43 points. And things are looking much tight in the top 4 race, as Aston Villa as well drops points away, while Manchester United managed to collect 3 points against Spurs at Old Trafford. However, what I have to talk about is Chelsea versus Wolves, and the lineup by itself looked like a strong lineup, a lineup that Chelsea were looking to come and try to win. And one key player who won Chelsea the game was Cole Palmer with an incredible hat-trick, a player who has been sidelined probably for the majority part of the season because of a groin injury, managed to come back, managed to put up that performance, and managed to actually get a hat-trick. So I'd like to hear if you are able to get me through from your end. I would really appreciate. If you're watching us, kindly like, kindly share, and also tell us where you're watching us from. So let's talk about Cole Palmer. Let's talk about how he managed to get that hat trick. Let's talk about how, in particular, João Pedro was super instrumental in helping Chelsea get the ball to Cole Palmer so that he could score those hat trick. So I'll begin with trying to do a brief analysis of how that actually happened. Are you able to hear me, guys? So this is how it actually managed to happen. The first hat trick comes from João Pedro. Again, João Pedro is fouled inside the box. Definite penalty. Cole Palmer gets it, slots it in. The second penalty, the same way, but now João Pedro is actually pushed inside the box, and he knows how to move to actually get that penalty. And Chelsea score. The third one, Palmer's, we saw the Palmer that we saw under Mauricio Pochettino. Very dangerous inside the box, slots it in, and he gets a hat-trick. A hat-trick for Palmer gives him confidence. It gives him confidence, especially when you look at how tight the schedule is going to be. It gives him confidence, especially since he's not had a great season, being riddled with this terrible groin injury, but he managed to score it. In the first half, we saw a new tactic that Rossignol has been working on. He's been very aggressive with the fullbacks, with both Cucurella and Malo Gusto looking to occupy the advanced positions, with only Caicedo and Andre Santos being the one to be deeper. But that kind of an aggressive approach might not suit play against very good teams that know how to counter. However, we saw that. We also saw, to some extent, Gusto coming into that midfield and Chelsea picking up a 2-3-5 structure. And that is quite interesting because it always allowed Chelsea that extra player in that midfield. So great to see how Robert Sanchez was calm with the ball, how he was always a passing outlet for the centre-backs. And the game plan in the second half was to come out, look to control the game, maybe nick a goal here, but more to do to keep the ball and conserve the energy. But to some extent, it invited Wolves into the game, and we started to see Wolves getting a lot of counters, and even to some extent earlier on in the second half, it looked like Wolves would actually go to score more goals. However, it also looked like the way Chelsea were looking to play, they were losing the ball. Wolves were starting to gain momentum. They were starting to keep the ball. And you know very well that when you have certain players at Chelsea, you cannot afford to play without the ball. When you have João Pedro, when you have Cole Palmer, and to some extent, you realize that they were getting fatigued, and then also Andre Santos was playing with his injury, so the midfield was kind of disjointed, and it was like the game was begging for a substitution. It was crying for a substitution, and once again Liam Rosinia makes the right changes. He brings on Garnacho for Cole Palmer, and he brings on Jorel Hato, and he brings on Liam Delap for João Pedro. So what happens is that Garnacho comes on, and Delap comes on, and there's a bit of energy up front, and Chelsea start to regain to keep the ball again. However, when Garnacho came on, he wasn't quite very good. He was quite underwhelming in the way he actually looked to keep the ball. Whenever he got the ball, whenever he got space, he had some chances here and there, but you could see he's a player who's playing with a very low confidence, especially after that terrible performance he put against West Ham at Stamford Bridge. Also, I have to talk about Pedro Neto. Pedro Neto in this game, he should have scored at least 2 goals. Even later on in the game, he had a chance where he should have just headed the ball in the back of the net. So when you look even at the XG of this game, you do expect that Chelsea actually should have scored more goals than they actually scored, meaning that a player like Neto, I think the boos and the jeers coming from the Wolves fan might have generally affected him, and that might have actually caused him to be quite not emotionally ready for this game. He was getting the ball. In some instances, he had even an opportunity to pass to Cole Palmer so that Cole Palmer could score more goals. He decided to go for himself, or his decision-making was off. Sometimes when he had the ball, he had the opportunity to pass. He doesn't pass. When he has the ball, he has the opportunity to shoot. He doesn't shoot. So I think Neto is playing with quite some low levels of motivation, and therefore, he really needs to pick himself up. He needs to pick himself up, improve the way he's actually looking to play, and have that killer instinct that he had initially. Overall, Caicedo did the basics at the back. I think Chalobah and Fofana did quite well. Only for that set piece where I think João Pedro wasn't quite tight enough with his player, which I expected him to be very tight and very compact. Otherwise, these are 3 points. Chelsea have managed to get back to winning ways. The Premier League, Chelsea have won 4 games in a row. 2 games that are still remaining, which are winnable. That is Leeds United. And what is the next games that Chelsea have? So Chelsea have Leeds United and just a minute. Leeds. So there's the Wolves game. So there's Leeds United and Burnley. Leeds United at home and Burnley at home, and those are two home games. Those are 2 home games, which I do believe that if Chelsea put up the best 11, they're going to be able definitely to get those 2 wins, and that will mean that Liam Rosinia has come to Chelsea. He has won 6 of 6 Premier League games that Chelsea should have won, and that means that he would have gained Chelsea 18 points up to around game week 27, and then now it will be the run-up for the next 11 games, where can he actually win 5 games in that position. And if he can win 5 games in that position, then Chelsea might actually be in a position where they will qualify for the Champions League. Now, let me just try to get your comments. You can bring in your comments. You can bring in your opinions on this as I look to introduce the panel and we talk about minor things that maybe I might have left out. So let me introduce Mehdi. Let me introduce Christian. And Mehdi, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay. Yeah, I hope you're doing well as well. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really happy with the performance. I'm not really. Look, I know it's a win. It's 18 points on the bounce. Um, and we have 2 winnable games. I feel like we're gonna lose to Leeds and we're gonna beat Burnley because for whatever reason, Leeds usually have our number. I I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like every year is the same story is that we're fighting for top 4, top 5. But like, don't you like miss winning the league? It's been like that since 2017. And I don't know if that's going to change anytime soon, but okay, let me just stop with the negativity. Let's talk about some positives. Yes, Pedro was excellent. He won both penalties. I think it's becoming a pattern. He did that for a few of Enzo's penalties as well. He also, had good hold of play. There was one time he turned, he set Neto up a few times, who wasted everything. Neto was very poor today. My God, was he poor? Cucurella, he could do what he could. He got the assist, so I guess sure. Palmer, I guess it's a good confidence boost for him. I don't know. Like sometimes I feel like Chelsea kind of lack that killer mentality. That let's go make a statement, let's go kill the game, and they lack that speed in their fluidity sometimes. Like if you go watch Man United play, it's one touch. It's really fluid. It's really like rotational. It's not rigid. You look at Chelsea, you feel like you're playing at like turtle pace, you know. And I think sometimes fans are gonna overrate this win because it's Wolves, guys. Like Wolves were that bad. I do not think we were that good. We were gifted two penalties and one cross, sure. But outside of that, I do not think we were that good. Okay, we had that one header from Pedro Neto. But look at him. Look at how many chances he wasted. Look at Garnacho. Look at Enzo today. Enzo, you know what? I can cut him some slack. He's been really good for us all season. If you have one bad game, it's okay. But look at these players
Did
that we
Enzo
have,
have
man.
a, did Enzo have a bad game? Enzo
I
played
feel like he
well.
had a bad game. Some of his passes were off. He was getting pinched off the ball too much. I do not think he had a good game today. I'm gonna be honest.
I think he played well. I think he kept the ball. Maybe at least later stages on the game is when I think the ball was being taken off him. But one of the strongest players when he receives the ball in the tight spaces, I actually think it's Enzo. He's short and he's very physical.
I mean, he's not that short either. Isn't he like 5'10"?
And he has been denied a clear assist by Neto towards the end. Like that was a free header. Neto just had to
Yeah.
direct it inside the box. That was a definite free header.
Neto was garbage. I mean, but you know, another thing I get frustrated is when will we ever see Estevao, James, Palmer play together? It feels like that'll never happen. And then we'll have to push Neto to the left because the left winger just aren't really good. For Wolves' goal, bruh, again, set piece madness. It comes in, he turns and he shoots. How are you allowing that? I have no idea. Conceding to Wolves. Come on, man. Seriously. To Wolves. 20th position. Wolves. Look at how many goals they've scored, and you are conceding to them. My God, man. But let's see. It's good 3 points. Let's keep moving. I think Santos should have a shout. He was very good today. Caicedo, especially. I think he was excellent everywhere, winning the ball. You know, even though he looks tired, he still keeps scoring. That's the gem we have right there. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I'm being overtly negative, or maybe I am and I can't see it?
Today you are so negative. I'm not saying that you've said anything wrong, but it's all about winning the game. It's all about winning the game. Yes, they made it hard in the second half, which it shouldn't have been hard in the first place. It should have been just an easy win. So thank you very much, Roslyn, for your comment. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I was telling you that they made it hard, but at the end of the day, if they win the 6 games that I'm saying that they should win, if they win them, I don't care how they win it, whether they win 2-1, whether they win 4-3, I don't care. But these are games they should win. These are games they should win, and they've won it. I don't think the Leeds United game. I think I normally see the games we lose, and it's probably to do with the lineup. If the medical team insist on a raft of changes in the lineup, that is when Chelsea actually play bad. Just make 2 to 3 changes. 2 to 3 changes is enough. Estevao did not even come on. So, do we have a game in midweek?
Yeah, we have Leeds.
Oh, Leeds United, and then okay. Yeah, we can play both games. Do you have an international break after our international break is in March?
I think it's in March.
Okay. Yeah, I think by the end of the week, if we manage to win the 2 Premier League games, we should be okay. We should be okay, and that will be 49 points. Then we can see whether we can go to the Emirates and probably get a draw or something. If we get a draw, well and good. We take points from them. If we beat them, perfect. And if Manchester City win their games by then, we probably do them a favor. We put them again close 3 points behind. Christian, how are you?
First of all, good evening. Thank you for letting me be on your panel, and thank you for Mehdi's input. And all I can say is cheer up, my friend. Cheer up. life can be better, and football. Don't let football depress you. Don't let second half performance get the star shot of you. Yeah, but come on, let's be honest. These guys were conserving energy. They were coasting. They, a game like this, rain, slippery conditions, playing against a team with sort of like bread and butter, old school type. There, you're saying bring on Esteval. This is the kind of game when you bring on Esteval, he gets injured. Typical game like this is where you think a nonsense game where you didn't really need to play him because the team you were playing against were rubbish. Let's be honest, Wolves are rubbish. And why bring him on and let him get injured? Why risk Reece James in a game like this? You will need these guys when you play Leeds midweek. That's a tough game, really, really tough game. There's no nonsense there. They battle every ball. They humiliated us last time. So leading up to Maresca getting fired. So there's a lot of revenge needed for that game there. So you will need your Estevals. You will need Reece James, strong lineup. So I think manager did a good, according to you, the medical staff did a good team selection and letting some of those key players rest so that they are top fit. But obviously, it's good to see Cole Palmer back. So it's just looking a little bit like his old self. He's still not quite there. He's still got a long way to go. But this is the first in many big steps on the road back to look like what it's almost like the patient. You gave him the first bout of malaria medicine. You don't expect immediate results, but the signs are there that okay, the patient is recovering, so to say. So this is a good sign. But there are still a lot of other patients in this team here, Chelsea team. I know you guys keep talking about Netro Pedro there. He's another patient. But if he's critical, maybe he needs to put him in ICU and don't play him. let him recover. But as I said, Chelsea they switched off in the second half. They could have, if they wanted to, they could have won this game 6-7 if they really wanted to. But what would be their point? The Wolves is dead already. You don't need to humiliate them any more. So Chelsea, actually, in many ways, they were being very sporting, and they didn't have to. You don't have to kill every single team 7-0. Sometimes you can be large. Team is down and they're lucky and whatever. Yes, you're 3-0 up. Be merciful. Don't always have to be there. And I know I can understand Mehdi. Mehdi wanted a statement and all that. Yes, that is fair. But if you want a statement win, you don't do it against Leeds. You do it against against Wolves. You do it against Aston Villa.
Go to Emirates and win.
Exactly. Thank you. You go to somewhere where okay, it's a good team, and you have to be at your top. But a game like this, nobody notices and nobody cares because I'm sure they will probably won't even mention it in the papers or in the sports reviews because it's Wolves. And I mean, the worst is, I think they're even worse than Derby County, the worst team in Premier League history. So there's no status. There would be there's no status in going to smash them. Nobody blinks an eye. But if you go the big team, and I'm sure even the players here, if you ask the players here, they mentally got nothing out of this game, because as I said, everybody goes there and beats them. I'm sure there's some team. Which team went there and had a tough time? Was it Arsenal or somebody went there and Arsenal had a tough time there? Who?
Was it Liverpool?
Liverpool has struggled against this team. Arsenal, yes. So they're not quite pushovers, but they're not quite the Premier League standard either. So they probably will, in the Championship, probably will struggle as well. So, but still, it's a game like this. You said it yourself. In the past, it's been a banana skin for Chelsea when we go in a game like this and end up losing, and it causes completely upheaval. But your friend, the PE teacher, he's been blessed with a fixture list. Oh my God, how can you be so lucky to get a new job and get a fixture list that he's had? Only tough team he's played is Arsenal, and they've lost both of them twice. Otherwise, he's off to a flyer. 3 points and 3 points, you can't take that away from him. So he's flying.
Christian, but again, I do think that even when we start to say that he's probably he has to beat whatever is in front of him.
True.
That is what I can say. And also, if he went into a losing streak after that abrupt sacking, it would be chaos within the club. So, to some extent, it was a lovely run of fixtures. I hope he wins 6 of them. I think that gives continuity with the squad. Like the squad are winning, so it harmonizes the dressing room. You see, when you're losing games, and then the manager has been changed, now you find other players are giving up, other players want to go. But when they are winning games, it's okay. We know we are papering over cracks. That is one thing we know. The cracks are there. We're just papering over them. They will come out, but at the moment we are papering over them. So I expected it to be a disaster, maybe like the way Potter's hiring was, but he has done well because at the end of the day, the Carabao Cup, we've probably not won it. I don't know since when. But however, the Premier League, we are grabbing up points because it is good to get top 4. It is good to get top 4. I know we shouldn't be relying on getting top 4 as Chelsea, but it's good to get it so that at least as we proceed towards the future, we are able now to, even in that, it will help us in the transfer window. When you get top 4, you will not have a lot of chaos from players wanting to leave, those kinds of things, because they're already in the Champions League. So they will not be like, this club can't play in the Champions League. It can be.
But I thought top 4 Champions League was to when you qualify for this is to attract the top names, the big stars, the good players. So, but with Chelsea, we don't buy those kind of players anymore. We only buy unknown players from some rainforest somewhere, preferably under the age of 20. These are the kind of players. This is the club we become. Mediocre.
But
development club, I will call it.
But we did sign João Pedro. We did sign João Pedro. We did sign.
That was young. That's young.
Yeah, but
they're both young.
Yeah. However, I want to ask a question in particular of the left wing. Chelsea's left wing looks to be super problematic. It's like 95 million has been spent and you've not solved anything in that left wing position. 95 million has been spent and that is not it. But again, with Garnacho, we all knew what we were expecting. With the signing of Garnacho, we all knew what we were expecting. One day he'll score goals. The other game, he will just literally disappear and contribute absolutely nothing. And now we are seeing it. He is very low on confidence. He can't beat his man. Garnacho can't dribble. How can you be a winger and you literally cannot dribble? It's a huge question. Melon, Estevao is our best left winger. Estevao is our best winger. Left, right, center is the best winger.
But how will you solve that problem? So you got anybody? Obviously, it's papering over the cracks, as you say. So you got Garnacho spent for 50 whatever million. You got Gittins. They spent also a lot of money on him. So if you bring in another left winger, that means you're going to have to sell 1 or 2 of those players. There, you can't have 3 very, very expensive left wingers.
I mean, I don't know if they're going to make money on him because there's also Mudryk, who they're paying his wages to. He's on a 7-year contract. So unless we can really sell one of them, I don't see anyone else coming. Our best winger is Estevao, who, he isn't even playing nowadays, and you have Neto. I'm telling you, you guys can say
he's a right wing. He's not left wing, Estevao. He's right wing.
Yeah, but in the limited minutes we saw him play at left wing, he did a 90% better job than both Kittens and Nachos. Like Garnacho, I've always said he's not a winger. He's an inside forward. He's very shot heavy. He loves having touch in the penalty area. When you force him out wide, you're basically making him do something that he doesn't have the skill set for. You need him closer to go with an overlapping fullback. It does not make sense.
Bit like Timo Werner.
Okay, so he's more like of yeah. I think Christian got it. He's more of a Timo Werner.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, you knew this, right? And we all knew this. So why is he still playing out wide? Like Maresca did it, and now we see Rosinha doing it. So like it's confusing.
Mm,
Why do managers like
but you see,
consistently seem to?
then what was the point of bringing him in the first place if you know very well that he will now try to play on Enzo Fernandez's game? Because even if we're talking about Garnacho being an inside forward, he occupies the space that Enzo occupies. Do I think he's going to give us something much better than Enzo there? No. Enzo is
Of course
creative.
not.
Enzo is creative. Enzo is a goal threat. Enzo is physical. So I'm more comfortable with Enzo playing there than I am with Garnacho. Garnacho is so poor that he can't even cross. He
Yeah,
can't
so
run
he
the
can't even
byline and
pass.
cross. No, passing backwards, he can pass backwards. But what I'm saying is that I noticed that whenever he plays, he's not so. Whenever even he gets a space with the wing, I don't see him even kicking the ball forward and looking to attempt a cross. No, he just does the easy back pass option. It's more like there's no difference of having him and Cucurella in that position. In fact, Cucurella is way better because if you give Cucurella that ball with that space, he'll whip in a cross.
I mean, yeah, I think there's. Look, it's like what you said. This team is just papering over the cracks, and I feel like once, okay, we have like a midweek game against Leeds, and then it's an FA Cup game on the weekend against Hull. Then we have a week until we play Burnley again, and then it's the international break. Once the international break ends, and then we have Arsenal, and then Aston Villa, and Newcastle.
Is it an international break or is it an FA Cup break?
No, like this week is like FA Cup, but there's a game midweek, and then next week is Premier League, and then after that is the international break.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
we're
we'll
gonna
play
really be
Arsenal.
in for a tough time.
We'll play Arsenal before the international break or after.
After.
Okay, what a way of actually killing the momentum.
I mean, is it a bad idea? But I don't know because I will we get fifth place? I think we can. I don't think we can get top four. I think Liverpool are better. I think Man United are better. I think City and Arsenal are better.
Oh, Mehdi, you're so negative. You're so
Liverpool's playing
negative.
Man City tomorrow at home, so that'll be interesting. So that could
Mehdi,
if they lose there, the gap is 4 points to Chelsea.
so
Yeah, but we'll lose
Mehdi, I
points
think,
to Villa, to Newcastle, to City, to
but
Arsenal. Like, these are tough games. Yeah.
but you're being so negative. Melon
No,
wants to
look,
come in
but
and
by
Let him
expected
come.
goal difference, we're fifth. Liverpool are third.
we are finished.
United are fourth.
No, Liverpool, my friend. Even when you look at those underlying numbers, Aston Villa shouldn't be there. But it doesn't mean that is going to be
And
tentatively the
what
way it's
have I
going to
said?
be.
I have said for the longest time that Villa are gonna drop out. They've now only their
This,
gap is 49.
but that doesn't guarantee that also Chelsea. But that doesn't guarantee that also Chelsea are going to drop off. Let's be a bit optimistic.
No, you see, look,
So
I expect us to
hello,
beat
Melon.
Burnley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I expect us to beat Burnley, but once that game against Arsenal kicks in, yeah, it's so. Anyways, let Melon speak. He's coming here.
You got. Oh, you got a question or?
Speak your mind. We're listening. We're listening because we follow you in the chat, so we're very expectant. We're very how can we say excited to hear you speak.
Yeah. good. It was a good result today. Good result, 3-1. I feel like if I was to just focus on the negatives, like it is two things. I think there's gonna have to be a conversation about defending set pieces, because even though I don't see it very regularly at this club, it's still one of the biggest reasons we concede. I've seen it a few times now. You know, not as much recently, but overall in a season, I think defending set pieces hasn't really been good enough. And also Garnacho, bro, this guy stinks, man. This guy stinks. He's so bad. I don't think I've seen a confidence player with this low confidence. He's awful. He played so badly. But I mean,
I generally think
yeah, gone.
Yeah, I was saying that I generally think that all our wingers are quite poor except Estevao. Estevao is the only one who you can probably look at and it'll be like, okay, he can come in and probably attempt to do something. But I think the winger business has been so bad. Yes, Pedro Neto, I can say he's currently out of form, because earlier on in the season he was the only player bailing Chelsea out. João Pedro wasn't firing. Palmer was injured. I think him and Enzo were the ones who carried the team in the earlier times in the season. And then recently, now when everybody has been back, Gittens, I've seen, was it you or was it somebody here who was saying that he likes Gittens? With Gittens also, you don't know what you get. Sometimes he gets the ball, he falls over the ball, he can't beat the first man. Then you ask yourself, if you're a winger and you can't beat the first man, you're better off just converting yourself into a fullback.
Yeah, literally. he'd still be our worst right back though. He's so bad. He's got to be Garnacho. I mean, Gittens. I like Gittens, man. I like Gittens. I feel like he's shown me enough to be like, he's out of form. Maybe he's a bit of a confidence player, but like he's one that I feel like you have to just give time to. And I know it's annoying as a Chelsea fan myself. I don't like having to give players time to develop and to build rhythm with it. Sometimes you have to. Some wingers are like Estevao, where no matter what, they're gonna play brilliantly. They're gonna play really well, and you always enjoy watching them play. But with Gittens, I feel like just when he comes back, give him some time, give him a few weeks, just bed himself in, because he's our best left winger. Realistically, he's our best left winger, and Neto's out of form now. It's pretty easy to see that. He does all his little jinky moves and then cuts inside and delivers a 3 out of 10 cross. Like, it's just over and over and over again. You can't stop him when he's crossing, but you don't even need to, because you just win the ball back anyway.
I've also seen him falling over himself. And I'm looking at Neto, I'm like, you have the ball. What are you falling over? Why are you falling over?
This guy, man. But I mean, big up to Neto. I feel like there's a lot of talks about selling him and getting rid of him, and I don't feel like that's very reactionary. I feel like he's only really stepped into bad form over the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I think for the rest of the season he was okay, at times bailing us out and scoring really important goals. If anything, you look at him and look at his quality, improve on it. Sign a winger that's better than him, that should start over him, and then we can have conversations about selling him, because he's a good player. He's very direct. He's got a lot of pace, and as long as you don't have a lot of football loaded onto his legs, he can do a job across the front three very well for you, depending on who you're playing against. So there's a lot of reasons you would want to keep Neto, and I feel like selling him would be a bit of a stupid move.
In my opinion, also, the main thing I want about Neto is I just want more older players in the team. The team is very young, and I think Neto is approaching 25, or is he 26? Let me just
26.
check his age.
He's 26.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, he's 25. So he's one player who will be turning 26. So when you keep him next season, he'll be around 27. So I really want that age. He'll be 27. Cucurella will also be around 28. Chaloba will also be way older. Even Fofana will be around 26. So I really want a core of players, and even Enzo Fernandez will be 26. So I think the age of the team will probably improve. So I don't want selling off players who are already hitting 25, especially those who have already been with the team.
Yeah. Feel like, I mean, did you see what Enzo Fernandez was doing today? I don't fully understand the role and the responsibilities he was given. Like when Cucurella would push further forward, obviously you've got the back line that shifts across. But I saw Enzo a lot of the time doing a lot more defensive work. And I feel like the only reason I could sort of understand it is if he goes back into those positions, he just draws a midfielder out. And it gives Palmer a bit more of an easy job in midfield. That's literally all I saw him really doing, and interesting role from him today.
Yeah.
I think he
Maybe
just tried
actually.
to- I think he just tried to overwhelm that midfield. But I don't think he had a good game. Like I said, I think he could have done better. We've seen better from Enzo. But I don't know. Do you guys? Okay, I'll ask you guys a question that it's a basic one. But do you guys genuinely think we'll get top four? Because I've said my part. I genuinely think we will not. I think maybe fifth. Because I feel like there are 4 teams in the league better than us. But what do you guys think? Like all of you, do you see and do you actually see this club challenging for the title in the next 2 years, or do you see us staying stagnant where we are?
That's a very broad question, especially when you're talking about challenging for the title. You've stretched quite far. But top four, I can say top four is all about consistency.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'm seeing a lot of people looking at Manchester United beat Arsenal, they beat Manchester City, they beat Spurs today, who got a red card, and people are looking at it and like, oh, Manchester United are so great. Manchester United, yes, will beat a bigger team, but it's the same Manchester United that will lose to Brighton. You'll be shocked, or you'll see them dropping points to Brentford. So that is one thing about Manchester United. So do I think that they are so consistent to be there? I don't know. In fact, the main issue of Manchester United is usually the teams like the teams we are playing today, or the West Ham that we play. Those are now generally the issues with them.
But hang on, Man United, go back to that. They're under new management. New winds are blowing across Man United. New trainer. You're talking about Amorim United. This is a new United. They're not, this you can't compare. There's two.
Okay,
two different.
So Christian, let me ask you a question. Now that Chelsea have won 4 games in a row, can we say that now this is a new Chelsea? This is a new manager, and Chelsea are going to. We have already seen from the way Rosinia approached Arsenal in both games.
You have to take it in context. Who has Man United played and who has Chelsea played? United played. They've had tough games. This is why I say it's new wins. Chelsea, we've had an easy run of games. So you can't. Rosinia, he has not been battle tested. He has not faced any good teams yet. He faced Arsenal in the something cup there. That we'll leave that to the side. So the games we played in the Premier League, we still haven't seen him. He hasn't been exposed yet. We're waiting for the tough games. Then we can say, is Rosinia a good coach or not, or a bad coach or whatever? But in these run of games here, I choose not to. I reserve judgment until I've seen him play the tough teams. How is he going to set up against City? How would he play against Aston Villa? How would he play against Liverpool? How would he play against Tottenham? So these kind of games, that's when we'll see if he's a PE teacher or if he's actually the coach, the manager. And for United, this guy, sorry to interrupt you, Carrick, he's been thrown into the deep end, into the fire straight from game one. Tough games. And he's come out the other side smelling of roses. So you can't say United, the old United, the Amorim United there, where it was hit and miss. One game you win, you lose the next game, and then there's some weird business going on. So I think they're definitely Champions League. It's more Liverpool. Liverpool's playing Man City tomorrow. If they lose at home, the gap is now 4 points officially, and that gap is hard to close, as you know. Aston Villa, as Mehdi keeps saying, they're gonna drop like a stone. They're gonna drop a stone. I'm still waiting for them to drop like a stone. So I don't know when that's gonna happen, but
They have
he'll
not.
maybe.
They have not won. They've not won a couple of games. So okay. With Liam, I've actually seen the way he's approaching big games. He has that weak mentality to big games. He's so scared. He's always thinking about the opponent. And what I've always said about the big games is that he can learn a blueprint from Maresca, because Maresca was so good in big games. That's one thing I have to give to Maresca. He was so good in big games. He just needs to watch what Maresca used to do, which lineup Maresca used to make, because it's not a different season. When you face the big games, you will see Maresca using Gusto and Rhys James in the same game. That is what Maresca will do. It doesn't mean that I'm saying that he has to use both Rhys James and Gusto, but when you look at it, if we play Arsenal and by that time Santos is not fit, then there's no problem of having Rhys James and Caicedo in midfield. There's no problem. There's no problem of having Gusto. There's no problem of having Fofana and Chalobah and Cucurella. It can actually work. But now the problem with him is that Arsenal game, he will overthink. You will find that he has played Chalobah, Fofana, and Badiashile. He has moved from a back four. He's moved to a back five. That back five has taken a player from midfield. It has weakened the midfield. It has killed that. So there is where I have a problem with him. He overthinks big games. You don't have to overthink big games.
Yeah.
I think
he another issue with this manager is like, like he gets the basics right, sure. And also, Taron, I will say what you've been saying about United, sure. But just the eye test, it's different. The football is different. They look like they're in control most of the game. You never look at them and think that, oh, you're gonna lose this game. Even when they're losing, you're confident that team is gonna come back, because they look like they're very much in flow in a very limited amount of time. They beat Fulham, they beat Tottenham. I mean, we're underestimating that Tottenham win, but they have a horrible record against Spurs. Like every time they play them home or away, they either drop points or they lose. So this is a very, very different United team.
But
Another
there
team
was a
that's
red card. There was a red
yeah,
card,
yes,
Mehdi.
I
There was a
understand, but
red.
like I understand, but you can't like you say, you can only beat what's in front of you. And prior to that, they were still the better team. Prior to that red card, another team going under the radar is Liverpool. Okay, they've drawn a few, but it's been a while since they lost. It's been a while since they lost. They are
I'm talking
pretty good.
about. I saw Spurs gaining momentum in that game,
No,
but
but they were never really
but you see,
threatening the goal. They were never really
yeah,
threatening the
that's the
goal. Like there
problem.
was never a
That's
point. Yeah.
that's the problem with Spurs. Spurs are not so good when it comes to attack. I think the other guy who coached them, the Australian guy,
And
Ange made them to be so good in attack, but their defense was crap. But this one is trying to emphasize on their defense, and also that shining toy Simmons, he's so underwhelming.
no, I don't agree with you. He's very isolated. I think he would have been excellent for us. He's been pretty good for Tottenham, but when you have like only Solanke ahead of you and like strikers playing as wingers, it's difficult. But anyways, we're getting carried away. With Chelsea, I don't know, because the big games it looks like he gets scared. We saw Delap play right wing. Today we saw Enzo play as a left wing. I wasn't exactly sure where Palmer was playing. It looked like that right hand was purposely overloaded, so I don't know if that would work if it wasn't for the penalties. The only good thing that I've seen so far is probably João Pedro. Midweek, do you guys see Mamadou Sarr starting, or do you think he's gonna use the same centre back pairing?
That's a good question. Could I just touch on something you said earlier though, before we go into that?
Sure.
I feel like
Yeah.
there was a lot of emphasis on how bad he was against the bigger teams, the weaker mentality, the drawing players out of midfield and putting an extra centre back on, drawing pressure and all that sort of stuff. But I feel like the more difficult games we had under Enzo Maresca was the smaller teams, the lesser teams, and I feel like that was mainly due to like a mentality problem, maybe a culture problem at the club, lack of leadership, lack of experience to deal with difficult grounds against lesser oppositions. I feel like a lot of the times you had these sort of problems you're playing against lesser teams, you're playing towards the level of your opponent. A lot of the time it's it was dross. But we've seen against, you know, the lesser teams we've played, Charlton, more specifically against this game as well. I don't think we were too bad when we had the excuse of not having to do too much in the game. I feel like we controlled the game decently well, but then again, a set piece sort of started slipping up around the beginning of the second half, and obviously conceding today. I feel like we've improved a little bit in terms of going up against the lesser teams, but it's taken away from our quality against the bigger teams. But it'll be interesting to see like a City, because we've already faced them under Callum McFarlane, but have we played them twice this season?
Yeah. No, only
No.
once.
We played them. Oh yeah, we played them. Okay, Everton, City, then United towards the end. But yeah,
Yeah, so do you guys see SAR starting in midweek?
it's against Leeds.
I think he
Yeah.
will be played in the FA Cup. I think he will be used in
Yeah.
the FA Cup.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to try out different players in different positions against Hull. I'm sure we're not going to see Delap playing on the wing against fucking Hull. But
honestly speaking, sometimes
what was that experiment, man, with him on the wing? I don't get it.
That is why I say that he would have, if he wanted to still control the game without the ball, he would have still had wingers tracking back. He would have still chosen to play wingers. He would have even played with a 4-4-2, and he would get the balance that he wanted. But I've always said that the last two Arsenal games that I've seen, and also was it the Brentford game, I've seen him trying to go ultra defensive. Even today in the second half, he's like he killed the game. He's too cautious. Because in the second half, the approach that came on was like he told them just control the game. He did not tell them go for it, go for it, go for it. No. You just tell them keep up whatever you are doing in the first half and maintain it. Then the players come onto the pitch, they look to score more goals. They look to score. I've always said, and even I heard Fabregas saying this, attack is the best form of defense. Even when you're like 2-1 up and it's the final minutes and the opposition is gaining momentum, the best thing you can do is take up some attackers and add more attackers in the team, rather than taking off attackers and adding defenders. Because when you add defenders, then it means that you're like, oh, I'm contented with this. Now I want to defend and probably get this win. But if you add attackers, then it means that you want to even go for it. And maybe when the more they attack, the space will open and you'll probably get a counter and you'll score the final goal and you'll finish it up. So I think that is what happened in the Arsenal game. I think he would have just gone from the start. He would have just started his stronger players. The more he would have, because I also saw, even when Gary Neville was doing that, he was doing the commentary on that game, he was saying like, I see Chelsea are trying to do something. I think if Chelsea need, because Arsenal were even scared. They were like, because Arsenal had not won a semi-final. I think under Mikel Arteta, they have been getting knocked out in semi-finals a lot. Yeah. So if Chelsea came into that game in the first half and they were like, let's try to win. You have Estevao on the pitch, you have Cole Palmer on the pitch, you have João Pedro on the pitch, and then you are now getting the ball and you are shuffling this ball, and probably you get a goal in the 6th minute. What happens? The entire game changes. Now Arsenal have panicked. You add another goal. So I think to some extent he was, because at the end of the day, whatever he wanted to do, he didn't achieve it. We still ended up losing the game.
Even against Crystal Palace, when he brought on 7 defenders when we were winning 3-0, and that allowed Palace to generate such high XG in such limited amount of minutes. I think that's a big issue with him. Look, I've said this before, I think we all know it. He's not qualified for this job. He's way in over his head, and sometimes you can see elements of that. It's hard to be too harsh on him because he's got the job done so far, but you just start to wonder. It feels like reality might slowly fall on him soon, but I guess that's for something for us to see. But do you guys think that defense has been our main issue? Do you think it's midfield? Do you think it's structure? And do you think like our team is being bailed out by individual quality silently? Because some of the goals we're scoring are like pure quality, like you see that João Pedro strike against Brentford. That's not an easy shot.
Actually, Mehdi, let me just say this. That you've not caught when you are saying Manchester United are way better than Chelsea. Manchester United have conceded more like 8 more goals than Chelsea. 8 more goals than Chelsea. And they have just scored 1 more goal than Chelsea. And
Yes,
when you
but
look at
that
the top
is
six, just a minute, when you look at the top six, Chelsea, only Arsenal, Manchester City, and Aston Villa have conceded less than Chelsea. Liverpool
yes,
has
but you
conceded
see,
more. United has conceded.
Yeah, but what?
yeah, but
Give me
you
those
see,
stats under Carrick. Give me those stats. Compare those Carrick Man United versus Chelsea Man United. From Carrick, rub out Amorim and start from Carrick, and then give me the stats. That'd be more interesting.
We can just look at the games. The Manchester City game they won 2-1.
2-0, 2-0,
No, was it 2-0 or 2-1?
2-0.
It's
Let me
2-0.
just check my.
Should have been 3-0. Yeah.
Yeah, it should
Yeah,
have
it
been
should have been.
3-0. Cunha had a goal, this
Yeah.
got disallowed.
Let me just check. Yeah.
Arsenal,
So you
look,
can
I'll
see
tell you, Arsenal 3-2, United
they
City,
have
they beat 2-0. They conceded 2
they have
against Fulham, and
four.
today
Four.
they
They've
didn't concede
conceded 4.
any. 4,
So they've
yes.
conceded.
But look at their
They've conceded.
fixtures.
Let me
Look at
look
their
at
fixtures.
Chelsea. Let me look at Chelsea. Fixtures at the end of the day, whatever you beat, it all depends on what you beat. You beat
Okay,
what is
look,
in front of you.
we conceded, okay, only Premier League, right? So we conceded 2 against West Ham. We conceded 1 against Wolves. We conceded, who else did we play? We didn't concede anything against Brentford. We conceded 1 against Palace. So it's almost the same in
But
against teams which are easier. And secondly, let me add this. Goals that you score and goals that you concede don't reflect underlying performances. Because sometimes a player can shoot outside the
Mehdi, you're wrong.
box.
can I ask
You're
Mehdi a
wrong.
question? Can I ask Mehdi a
Yeah,
question? Mehdi, so
yeah.
you are the guru for numbers and stats. Like when you do
Mm-hmm,
the Olympic diving. So if you do a
mm-hmm.
dive, they'll give you a grade plus they multiply that by the degree of difficulty of the dive you did. So if the harder the dive, the more twists and whatever somersaults and whatever nonsense you do there, the higher grade you're going to get. So if we go by that premises, the games which Chelsea have played, the degree of difficulties to win compared to the games United have played, the degree of difficulty to win, you can't compare.
Yes, and not just that, but even if you go to underlying numbers, okay, look, top of the league, Arsenal, they have an expected XGD of 0.86. They're quite clear of everyone else. Second is City, 0.55. And then Liverpool are very close, 0.53. United are very close, 0.49. After that is a big drop to Chelsea, 0.29. So it's like the league, it's a pretty big division. Looks like Arsenal are in a league of their own. And then City, Liverpool, United are in a league of their own, and then Chelsea and Newcastle. That's why when I say the standards of this club have dropped, that's what I mean. Like the football is becoming mediocre. Sometimes we're getting carried a bit by a few world-class players. Like you remember that James free kick against Newcastle. You remember Pedro's, some of his goals are hard to score, man. Like that screamer against Napoli, that screamer against Brentford. And you really forget how good sometimes we might have some players, only like 4 or 5. But now that's what's happening. Chelsea last year were the 3rd best team in the league, right? By underlying numbers. And they were actually pretty close to Arsenal. Actually pretty close. I know Arsenal are very injury prone, but they could have almost pimped even second by underlying numbers. Liverpool kind of ran away with it. But now we've kind of really slid back on where we are. And I can't help but feel is that the squad got downgraded. I don't think any of the left wingers have been an upgrade on Sancho. Okay, Estevao is probably better than Madueke, but would you rather sell Madueke or Neto is a bit debatable. So it just feels like fans aren't okay. No, hold on. But it just feels like us as fans, we're not noticing these little things that are going under the surface, and I just can't help but feel like Chelsea need to get their things straight, because right now it's very unsustainable, and I feel like if we really go against big teams, we're gonna drop a lot of points. And worst case scenario, look, I'm gonna give you guys 3 scenarios. Worst case scenario, I think we finish 8th. Best case scenario, somehow we finish 3rd. Realistic scenario, we finish 5th. Tyron, I don't do that. I don't overrate this club, man.
Medi, you're so negative because let me just point out something here.
Mhm.
If Chelsea were to drop off, they would have dropped off immediately. Maresca got sacked. And what happened was Rhys James and Enzo sat the players down together with Tosin and they talked to those players. That's why we are getting on our day. This is one thing that I've always said. Apart from Rossinia being super ultra negative when he's facing big teams, on our day, if we field up our starting 11 and we face any team, we can do anything. That
I
is what I've
agree,
always
but
complained
Tyron,
about.
you
Just
see,
a minute.
the thing is, the thing we have said is the starting 11 is good, right? You have a good starting 11. But the moment one of them gets injured, you're in trouble. And we already have injury
No,
issues.
look, look at that. Look at that Arsenal game. It was a 1-0. Look at the Arsenal game we played. We played them when they were flying. They had beaten Bayern Munich. There's also another team they had beaten, and then they came to Stamford Bridge, and we were playing them. We were bossing them around until Caicedo got that red card. And I always believe that if Caicedo doesn't get that red card, we beat them at the bridge.
Yeah.
It was quite clear
I
because even
agree.
and then what I'm saying is the issue has been, especially what I've seen with this manager, is that whenever he's facing these teams, look at the first game when we lost 3-2 in that Carabao semi-final. Look at that lineup. I've always said that sometimes you look at games, yes, you look at the stats, you're like, okay, this is what is supposed to happen, this is what the stats say, but media always refer to you. Look at the lineup. Even look at that Leeds game. Look at the lineup. It is always interference by the medical team to try and further change the lineup. Even the West Ham game, we won
I
3-2, but look
agree.
at the lineup
I,
that was started.
I agree
So
with
it
you
is
on
it
all of
is
these
not, you
things.
cannot just look at it.
But these are
You cannot
factors that
look
are
at it from the
contributing.
start.
Like how do I say?
Maybe
I know these things. No, I agree with you that overall there are external factors contributing to team selection. But the reality is now we can't really do anything about that. Like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna go protest? I feel like Chelsea fans
what
tend to forget what can we really do.
that's but Medi, yeah, I think the fans cannot protest when the team is performing well because it will further now make the environment toxic and then it will also kill the momentum of the players. But what I was trying to explain to you, yes, is even when you look at the stats and you try to examine the stats, there's always the eye test and there's always the lineup. So if I put, is it Medi who's out or it's
No,
me?
I'm here. You We're all here, bro.
Yeah, bro.
We're all here.
We're here. We're listening. While
I don't
watching
think you have it.
Newcastle against Brentford United, 1-1 so far. Newcastle, what happened to them? They've fallen off the cliff.
I have no idea. Okay, yeah, but it's
Was
like I was saying. When you look at Chelsea, right? Even when we look at lineups and we look at like selection by the medical team, I'm not ruling those things out. I'm just saying that yes, the team can become better, but but they're not gonna change, right? Is what I mean. So if we're realistically to project where Chelsea are going to be, along with the external factors, it's probably along those lines. I mean, what do you guys think,
along the
Christian?
lines of
You know,
what? What were you saying?
like
What were you
fifth to fourth.
Yeah,
Where
but
do you guys think
the thing
Chelsea
is,
can be?
we're 4 points off second. We're 4 points off second place. I don't feel like it's as dire as maybe you'd think it is or point it out to be. I feel like we're much closer to being, in my opinion, we're much closer to being third than we are like finishing fifth or sixth. I think we're much closer to third. Like in terms of finishing in a high league standing, all it is consistency. You have to be more consistent than those around you, those above you, those below you by like 2 places. We're fifth now. I feel like over the season, as the season sort of progresses, it gets closer to the end. I feel like we are going to be a little bit more consistent than like Aston Villa. Maybe not City. Don't think Arsenal. So that's my top two. And then I feel like who's the other team? United. I don't know if United are going to hold it. If it's very early in their sort of managerial stint, I feel like it's very easy to be more consistent than like a Villa or a United, in my opinion. So I feel like we get third. I do genuinely think it. You were saying something about Liverpool earlier. I haven't actually seen much of Liverpool, but I've seen some highlights and maybe one or two games recently. You were saying how they were quite good. They seemingly have turned the corner. They're an awful record so far.
Yes.
Really bad
Yes.
record. 3 draws, 1 loss, and a win in the last 5 games. So I don't really see that level of threat from Liverpool as I would an Aston Villa or a Man United in terms of a top 3 race. Of course, with us in it. I just don't personally feel threatened by any of those 3 teams. I feel like Chelsea are definitely destined to be 3rd place this season. I don't really think there's much conversation in that.
Really? You genuinely think we could finish third?
Yes, on the basis of being more consistent than United and Aston Villa from now until the end of the season.
It's
So
a
for
work in
both of you
progress.
guys,
So if you go back to what Tyrone was saying about he doesn't want any of these 25-year-olds, 26-year-olds, whatever, to be sold. He wants them to stay because we need some maturity in the team. And basically, this is in my opinion anyway, or what do I know? It's a work in progress. We're waiting for these young guys to mature, to grow up. But so I'll say next season, even the season beyond, I know this is not what people want to hear. But once some of these guys have really grown up, so to say, this is going to be a very toxic team. I mean, the owners, they've played the long game, and we, the fans, we've had to be patient. We're not used to, we're used to ready-made products, ready-made, plug and play kind of things. But I don't know. But as I said, the glass is more half full than it is half empty in this situation. As Melon was saying, pointing out, we are more closer to the top. But and then again, it doesn't take very much in this Premier League. Just 1 or 2 bad results, and then suddenly you are mid-table, as Mehdi is saying. You are suddenly in the grey zone there, where nobody notices where you are, nobody cares, and it's so yeah. You just don't need. You need to consistently winning. I can't believe. Oh, Brentford. How bad is Newcastle? What happened to them? Yeah. Brentford's got a penalty. Newcastle scored a dodgy penalty, dodgy corner now, and then they scored a counter. You watch this play. Watch Brentford play. They're a team of nobodies, yet they play at a very high quality. And I think it's to do with that guy, the Liverpool player, Jordan. What is his name? Henderson.
Jordan Henderson.
Yeah. I think he's brought something to this team, some kind of winner mentality, some kind of. I think that's winner mentality. He's brought those Klopp high standards to Brentford. This is why this team is, a team of nobodies who lost their manager. It's suddenly,
in fact, they have such a good striker as well, Brentford. Igor Thiago, I think is.
Yeah, but you see, guys. Here's another thing I'll say is with the thing with strikers who have a lot of goals and have a lot of XG. If you go see the pattern this season, they're all playing for teams that are below the big 6. Because they're being afforded more space. Nowadays, defenses are very rigid. It's very tough to generate like high XG for your strikers. Because even look at players like Gyökeres, apart from Haaland, every other big striker kind of struggles. Like Hatrickj, okay, but generally, even he's not in the top 3 top scorers. That's something we have to remember as well. The bigger team you are, the harder it is going to be to create chances. So when we buy players from small teams, we have to consider that.
Is he the manager of Newcastle? Is he the next guy to be fired? Do you think?
Yeah,
Mr. Miller. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I've seen so much shit with him. I think they play a 5-4-1 a lot of the time, trying to reduce the space through the center, and they've gone from a back 4 to a back 5 and done so many weird changes that they shouldn't have done. And
the reason why I ask you that question is. There's one guy available. Could you see Maresca going to Newcastle and taking over?
I don't think so. I think he's waiting for City, in my opinion.
You think so? Why do you think Pep's leaving?
I don't know if he's gonna leave. I feel like if he doesn't leave in the summer, I think Maresca goes maybe to. I'm not sure where he would go.
Yeah, Newcastle. It's a big club. He's very, very
Mm.
suited.
Yeah, but
No,
He
you
would
could
work
go to
there.
Italy, I think. Italy or like or Man City, because Man City
like-
already like low-key have their short list. It's Company, Maresca, and I forgot the last person.
Why
I
would
feel
company
like
leave Bayern München? He's very successful there.
Money talks, I guess.
with the type of football Maresca wants to play, I think it only ever will benefit him by the quality of the technical ability of his players. And I feel like the technical quality of Newcastle's squad isn't that high. I feel a lot of
Yeah,
their squad is based on physicality, especially that midfield. You need a majorly technical midfield for Maresca. I feel like they need to invest money that they didn't need to invest money that they don't have into players that they need for Maresca's system to work at Newcastle. I just don't personally believe it would happen.
hey, but like, okay, that's true as well. But like,
Welcome
do you
back, Tyrone.
Welcome back.
Yeah, my app went off. I had to now move to my phone.
So, guys, can I ask you guys a question? We talked about how we don't want to sell players who are getting old, right? So, because now they're matured and we don't want to sell off more experience. But do you see these players who are gaining more experience, who have been a bit, underwhelming a little bit, like Pedro Neto? Do you guys see them improving in the next 2 seasons, or do you think that they're just gonna like
Can I
stagnant a
answer
little
that?
bit?
Can I answer that one?
Sure.
So for first things first, I am writing a petition to the ombudsman. You know what the ombudsman is?
No.
You never heard of the ombudsman? Melon, explain to him what the ombudsman is.
I
More
have
of
no
a
idea
lawyer.
what you're talking about.
Sorry?
He's more of a lawyer.
The ombudsman is like how can I explain it, Tyrone? The ombudsman.
He's like a lawyer. The
Like
lawyer.
a government lawyer. The government lawyer you can complain to.
Generally
So
in charge.
So I'm going to write a letter to the ombudsman demanding that Chalobah grows back his dreadlocks. He looks terrible without his dreadlocks. I can't stand to look at him without his dreadlocks. He looks thin. He looks young. I don't know. He doesn't look like Chalobah. Okay, I don't know why, but it's for me it's such an doesn't look like himself. Anyway, but that is besides the point. So mentioning Chalobah, he's probably one of those guys, candidates to be sold. You know how this franchise works. So they look at him and they just see money. They don't see a player. So you could to Pedro Neto, another one, money. They don't see a player. Gittins, he can go for as far as I'm concerned. Okay, if I'm going to sell players, I'm going to sell Gusto. You probably get a very good player, good money out of him. Garnacho is going to go. Pedro Neto, I'm sorry, but he's going to go. You can take who else is there? You can take who? Tosin. But you won't get very much money for him.
Anything profit, so fuck it.
You can take
the 5 million.
You can take the reserve goalkeeper. I don't know, the Danish guy. He can go as well.
He's so shit, man.
Jurgensen.
Yeah. You can take. There's quite a lot of players you can offload and bring in. We have so many young players all over the show. God knows where the hell they are. You can bring back some of those guys.
Yeah, Penders, the goalie, Quenda, the winger.
Who was that guy? Somebody posted in the group chat that from Strasbourg, that midfielder covering.
Valentino Barco. Valentino Barco.
Never heard of him, but I was very impressed by his heat map.
Even his through balls. I think he has the second highest through balls in the French league.
Wow. Have you seen the picture of his thighs? That guy, he looked like a bodybuilder, man. His legs, wow. And but he's like almost like N'Golo Kante, who, by the way, went to Fenerbahce. The poor guy, you know how N'Golo Kante, he likes to be quiet, he likes to be humble, he doesn't like to be seen. He comes to Fenerbahce, he comes to Istanbul, there hundreds of thousands of people at the airport thinking, this was not a good idea. This is not a good idea. I like my peace and quiet. Or then don't go to Turkey because they are completely mad. But I'm sure in the summer, Chelsea's going to offload a lot of players. Obviously FFP, whatever you want to call it. They're in for making money, and they're probably, if we're lucky, they might bring in one or two good players. But I'll hold my breath. I don't count on anything.
But the club also has a group of untouchables, like Palmer. Now, I don't know who else is in the untouchable group.
Enzo.
I'm assuming Caicedo and Enzo are probably there. Now the concern is Reece James there?
Yeah, he's
Because I really
contract
don't want James.
18 months.
Of course he is.
I mean, we hope so, right? Because he's like proper chills. Like he's the last person you want to see leave the club, probably. But
I think also selling Reece James. I think selling Reece James might really touch the nerve with the fans. I think that is one thing that the fans like. Cross the red line. You crossed the red line. They know. That is one player they know that if they touch, it's going to be very, very problematic.
Okay, so if we think these are the untouchables, the players they don't want to sell, these are genuinely world-class players, do we dare to assume that there might be some ambition of winning, or is it just to stay good enough to be in the top 4 every year, like we know?
I really don't know their plan per se. Does anybody even know it? So, guys, I just wanted to probably say that what do you think about that Leeds game? Is it the next game?
Yeah, it's next game, midweek.
3 days.
Yeah.
What are your expectations on that Leeds game?
Has to be a win. Has to be. There's no excuse. No excuse. Has to be a win. The reverse leg, of course, away from home was terrible. One of the worst results you could have imagined, knowing the history of the fixture and everything. But I feel like it's a chance to retaliate. A bit of fire. It's a very fiery derby. It's going to be one of the most fiery away crowds. So I'm looking forward to it.
And even when I looked at that Leeds game, I was like, when I looked at it, I was like, again, it was what I said. The lineup was wrongly put in. The lineup, the lineup was bad. That's why I always say that as much as you look at the stats, let's look at the context.
No, Byron, I did say both when you left, but anyways, yeah, even Tosin made a horrible error that game. If you guys remember, he basically handed it to Calvert-Lewin on a plate, and that obviously generates a much, much, much higher XG. But yeah,
we've had a lot of red cards today. That's why when I know you explained this when I was gone, but when you look at the concept of red cards, when you looked at the concept of the lineup, that is what might actually make Chelsea have a bad XG. The Arsenal game, red card. The Manchester United game, red card. The Brighton game, red card. I think we've had
Forest as well.
Forest again. And when you look at those games, you find Chelsea have lost and the XG has been bad. So when you look at the stats overall, you'll be like, yeah, Chelsea have been terrible this season. But you fail to look at the red cards and the line.
No, I agree with you. It's just I was saying, because this has become such a consistent thing, the red cards and the board interrupting, that I'm just predicting based off it. Not that the stats say everything. But yeah, anyways, if you guys were to like put out a lineup against Leeds, who would you start?
The same as today.
Similar today, yeah. I feel like
Same as today.
If there's a reason to rotate, which there really isn't.
Okay, I'll put it on James. Put it on James instead of Cucurella. So not Cucurella. What's his name? Gusto. But otherwise, it's basically the same team.
Yeah.
But you'd rather play without a left winger?
I'd actually play more defensive. I wouldn't play so many attackers. Leeds are very toxic attacking. I have a controlled offensive. Let Leeds come at Chelsea. We hit them on a counter attack.
Oh, we are at home. We can't play like that.
Oh, why not? Why not? 3 points is 3 points. It doesn't matter how you get them, by hook or crook. You need 3 points. So Sorry?
We don't have a defense that can actually defend. So we'll just impose ourselves on them. We're at home. They're the ones who are going to come to sit deep.
I think we want at least one winger. Like I would push Pedro Neto to the left and start Estevao on the right.
Dropping
Actually,
who?
have more attackers.
Do you think interesting thing as well, does anyone know what's the extent to the injury is with Andre Santos? Because it would mean Enzo's probably going to be playing with Caicedo.
I'm not too sure. I haven't heard anything, but I don't think it was too serious. It looked like he was just holding cramp or a knock. Worst case, I think he'll just like play a limited amount of minutes in midweek. So I think that'll probably be the case. Though I'm not too sure because he didn't look like he was struggling a ton.
No, with him as well, I feel like he was slightly disappointing on the ball today. I feel like there was times off the ball really good, putting out fires, done really well. As soon as he gets on the ball and he looks up, he sees someone, the pass is always overhit. It's a little thing I've noticed, but they're like very well overhit as well. And it was quite disappointing, to be honest. But happy for him to
Yeah, I
get some
thought
rest.
Santos had a good game. I thought
But you
Enzo
see
was
how
doing that a lot more than him.
you see how Santos went from being a marginal player, which Maresca didn't want to play, to now suddenly becoming almost like a main man, the new coach.
I like him a lot. He's really good.
But
Me too.
fortunes change. My point being, fortunes change quick in football when the manager changes. Some players suddenly from nowhere back in the highlights, and some who were the big dogs suddenly. This is football. It can be brutal sometimes. It can be really, really harsh.
Depends. I mean, we've seen the same with Kobe Mainoo, right? At United, he seems like a completely revived footballer. It's just amazing. But
as soon as you get
I
a new
mean, I don't
manager,
know.
it's like everyone's sort of set back to zero. Everyone has a new set of eyes on them, and everyone's starting from the same place. I feel like there's a lot of an excuse for these players that were like second fiddle to prove himself as the starters, basically.
Should I give you guys some good news? If we beat Leeds and if we beat Burnley, I believe it's the first time we've won 6 Premier League games in a row since 2022 under Tuchel.
And I think if we win both games, we'll be in the top 4. I believe so.
I mean, Melon said he sees us finishing top 3.
It can also happen.
I mean, I was basically saying by what you said, a lot of it is based on consistency. And I see us being a little bit more consistent than Villa and Man United, who are currently 3rd and 4th.
And Liverpool also.
Yeah, and Liverpool. I feel like I'm the only team there I'd struggle to say maybe we could be more consistent of is Villa, because I feel like they have been just so consistent this season. And that's why they're 2nd now, but they should be 3rd tomorrow based on City. But they had a good win today.
Dropped points. No, they dropped points today, and they dropped points last week. Yeah, it ended 1-1. Last week they lost to Brentford 1-0.
Oh, maybe they can. Maybe they've dropped off a little bit. It's a good opportunity for us.
It is. That's why I told you guys, Villa are frauds, man. They're gonna drop off.
Yeah, so we're gonna be more consistent than them. Like they're the only team that's really above us. Like they got 4 points above us. I think the same points as City in 2nd. So if we win our next 2 games and City and Villa drop points, then we'd go 2nd place. Like it's not.
Actually, I don't want City to drop points.
I don't want them either, bro. Fuck Arsenal, man. I don't. I'm not trying to. Bro. You know the mixed reaction I had when we scored against City under McFarlane. I'm like, yes, we scored. We equalized. Man City have dropped 2 points. Shit, man. I don't know how to feel about this. But, man.
Painful. It's so painful. Never won. I've been telling Mehdi and Christian that damn, I hate them. I never knew I hated Arsenal until
Tyrone hates Arsenal more than he loves Chelsea.
think most Chelsea fans do.
So
That.
if I Mehdi, I
Yeah.
said if there was a choice that Chelsea would lose to a team in the semi-final that can beat Arsenal in a Champions League final, I wouldn't compromise this team to go and beat Arsenal.
That's
If it's
crazy.
probably a team like Bayern, and I know Bayern have the quality to actually do something, I'd be like, oh my God, Bayern, just go and do it. I hate them so much. I don't think I can stand. Even this Premier League, when they win it, it's going to be unbearable.
I mean, they are going to win it because they don't really have any tough fixtures left. All their fixtures are pretty good
And what
because
has
they
happened?
have some.
Premier League is very tricky. You can't say that all their fixtures are good. They have not lost.
No,
Just
Tyrone, listen, they have Brentford away, Wolves away, Spurs away, Chelsea home, and I mean they own us right now. Brighton away, Everton home, Bournemouth home, City away, Newcastle home, Fulham home, West Ham away, Burnley home, Palace away.
but it
Those are
doesn't.
such easy fixtures, man. My God.
Maybe they were all these games. If they were winning all these games, they would really have. It's not like they are also winning the league and they are flying with it. No, it's more to do that everybody else is not good. Because even if they were so great, they would be maybe 15 points clear. So that's why
That's what it is.
they will drop points. They will drop points.
The the little gap that we have in February. It's the Champions League playoff fixtures. That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
So I was wondering,
Actually,
there's a
Champions League
big
fatigue
gap
in my
in there.
head. Yeah.
Anyway,
Do
guys,
you guys? Yeah.
Eddie, you
Mm-hmm.
finalize. I'm about to leave.
You're about to leave. It's okay. We can close it off now if we all give our closing statements.
If
Yeah.
you have to add Melon to our group chat there.
Let me. He can share his phone number on the private.
Yeah.
Very intelligent guy. I like him. He's like Mehdi, very high IQ, and obviously Mr. Tyrone. Mr. Tyrone, we call Mr. Tyrone high IQ Tyrone, just so you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Let me write it and then I'll add it. Oh, it's a lot of numbers. I was asking you, why does that number look familiar? Let me just put it, then I'll add it. Yeah. Done. It's done. I'll add him, Christian.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, what would you be closing with about this particular game, and what you're looking for in the future?
I'm looking for peace and quiet, and not too much waves on the. Just peace and quiet, and just win 3 points, and then I'm happy. I mean, whether it's we play Brazilian football or whatever, 3 points. I just want 3 points, and that's all.
Exactly.
What about you, Mehdi?
I hope we win. I know I've been a bit negative, but get the job done and I'll take it at this point. It's been a while. So as long as we beat Leeds, we beat Burnley, and we'll see where it goes from there, I guess.
What about Melon?
Just get 3 points. That's all I care about. Get 3 points. That's it.
And from me, I hope Mehdi is proved wrong every single day. That's all on my. So anyway, thanks everyone.
See you. Bye.
Take care.
Goodbye.